Hi guys, so thank you so much for coming. What we have here today is the Mawson Lakes Reps Candidates and Postgraduate Rep Candidates Q&A, question and answer session for the USASA election. This is an opportunity for the candidates to come together in front of students and actually answer some questions, talk positively about their candidature and why they should be voted for, and why you should elect them to the USASA board for next year. So thank you to all the candidates who have chosen to come along and participate in this, and thank you to Rosalind Cox from the Student Engagement Unit who's agreed to facilitate this for us. So I will introduce Rosalind on now and then we will begin today's event. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Bridget. Welcome, everybody. Democracy is a really important part of student life. You will also know it's a really important part of life after being a student. So fantastic that everybody's here to participate. Okay, we are going to do this in two chunks. The first chunk will be the Mawson Lake student reps, and then the postgraduate reps after that. So what I'm going to get all the Mawson Lake student reps to do is stand up and come out here with me. Okay, wonderful. So, I'm going to ask you a series of questions. I've got two prepared questions. You're each going to have a chance to answer them. We're going to answer them in the first instance, alphabetical order by first name, and then the second question will be alphabetical order, reverse alphabetical order by first name. Excellent. After that, I'm going to throw it to the audience to ask you some questions as well. What I encourage you to do is, rather than look at me when you answer the question, see if you can look straight down the camera, because you want to be talking to the students who are going to be watching this after this. Okay, so we have got 4 candidates here with us today. Abhayyank Manchanda, Noah Beckman, Jaideep Vishwanath, and Joshua Steele. So, the first question for all of you is, why have you chosen to run for the USASA board, and why should people vote for you? Abhayyank, I will ask you to answer that first.
So, I'm signing up for the undergraduate representation position, and I want to be a USASA representative because I want to bring change in the community. I want to bring change for the students. As you would have recently noticed, the library is open 24/7 right now, and I want to bring more such changes for the students. That's why I want to become a rep. I want to be the student voice. That's the main reason I want to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, Abhayyank. Jody.
Yeah, hi. I'm signing for Mawson Lakes representative. I like to solve each and every issues which students are facing in Mawson Lakes. For example, a library issue where people like to study more. Currently, the library is till midnight, so I make sure I talk with the board members and also make sure they get extended. It will be 24/7. And apart from international students, there are a lot of local students as well. So we need to work together. And as far as my knowledge, I'm very new to this place. First, I like to identify the issues faced by all the students. Then I like to talk with the other USASA members. Then I like to solve the problems by talking with the board members as well. Yeah.
Thank you, JD. Third, Joshua.
I would like to I'm running for Mawson Lakes representative. I'd like to make the campus a better place by providing better and more events, as well as increasing the utilisation of campus spaces like Mawson Lakes GP Courtyard. I'd also like to be an advocate for students and essentially be able to bring all of my ideas and their ideas together to essentially push it to the board and make their ideas known, as well as implement them and run good events for the campus, essentially.
Thank you very much, Joshua. Lucky last, Noah.
Hi, so I'm running for Mawson campus representative. If I'm elected, I'd like to definitely continue the increase in club funding that's been going on and making our Mawson campus a much more vibrant and active campus. And I'd also like to be an advocate for student welfare and all of the different services that we have going on our campus. Currently, it's been increasing fantastically. With the past 2 years, we've had great campus reps, and I'd just like to continue that work and make sure it continues.
Wonderful, thank you very much, Noah. So, the second question for all of you. What do you think are the top 2 issues at Mawson Lakes, and what will you do if you're elected in 2019 to advocate for these issues for students? Noah, we'll start with you.
Alright, biggest issue at Mawson campus, definitely the parking. It's shocking at the moment. It is impossible to get a park on most days at the campus here. We need to change that massively. Also, getting our campus to just be generally more vibrant and active. Everyone's always talking about City West, City East, Magill. Okay, Mawson campus is one of the bigger campuses, and we need to increase people being out here, different activities for everyone here on the campus.
Thank you very much. Joshua.
So the first priority is essentially the merger as well as Enterprise 25, because either way, if it goes ahead, then Mawson could potentially have a few issues. Granted that they probably try to merge USASA into AUU or something of the like. So essentially we will need strong advocacy either way, granted that Enterprise 25 is going to bring a lot of changes as well. So either way, strong advocacy and connection with students is required. And secondly, I'd like to bring further advocacy towards increasing funding and resources for mental health services on campus, provided that I've heard reports from students that it's currently overbooked for counselling and other resources. So a lot of students who need mental health assistance currently can't get that, and essentially providing more services around mental health, events around mental health and wellbeing on campus as well.
Thanks very much, Joshua. Jaideep.
What I think is most of the events are like conducted in City West, and like what I feel like we can use Mawson Lakes for most of our events, because it is one of the biggest campus of all the 4 campuses. And like the plan will be good if we conduct the events equally in all the campuses, so people from other campuses can visit each and every campus and they can get to know each other, and that is one main thing. Apart from that, the main problem with our campus is again our library, so we need to extend ours.
Thank you, Jaideep. And lucky last, Abhayyank.
So, as you know, Unite has worked towards club funding, increasing the club funding, and I would also like to work towards that. As you guys know, that it has improved so much thanks to Jordan. He's worked a lot for it, and all of the Unite team. And I would definitely want to support more clubs, want to increase their funding so that events can be better. As you know, everyone thinks the events are better at City West, but frankly speaking, over the last year, events have been very good at Mawson Lakes campus. They've been bigger, they've been more vibrant, they've been really good, and that is one thing I'd like to work towards. And the other thing would definitely be it would be the parking issues, and I would definitely like to increase the parking space, as if Enterprise 25 goes ahead. You guys know that the Magill students might be coming over here to Mawson Lakes, and I definitely want more parking space for everyone. And I've even plans working with the international rep to get more international accommodation, and even accommodation for all the students around Mawson Lakes campus. As you know, the university is aligned only with Urban Nest, and that's in the city. It's hard for Mawson Lakes students to stand out. Definitely looking forward to work all these duties with Grace, who's hopefully going to be my president. She's standing with me, Unite, and I'd like to work towards the betterment of all the students, for the students. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Abhayyank. Thank you to all 4 of you. Now, we have another candidate who is joining us. Okay, so, Christian Varghese Thomas. So, Chris. So, Chris is going to answer the 2 questions that I just asked the other 4 candidates. In the meantime, I want you in the audience to think about any questions you might have for these 5 candidates. So, Chris, there are 2 questions for you. The first one is, why have you chosen to run for the USASA board, and why do you think people should vote for you? And the second one is, what do you think are the top 2 issues for Mawson Lakes? in 2019, and what will you advocate for if elected to the board? So I'll get you to do the first one, and then I'll repeat the second question.
Hi everyone, my name is Chris, and I'm a postgraduate for Master of Information Technology. I think every event or anything related to student activities is actually conducted by USASA, and I think they are an integral part of UniSA. And why I would like to run for Mawson Lake representative is that I feel as students from Mawson Lakes go to City West or City East campus, it's the same distance for them to travel here. We need more events, we need the students to be more active, and as you can all see, we have a student launch, but the number of events that actually happen here is very low. And I think a few events that USASA that conducts is Unitopia and a few other, the orientations. That's the only one I can actually see the students being involved in. I think we need the students to be more involved in the activities, and I'm running for the representative of Mawson Lakes because I think I can bring a change. And what I would like to be is a representative who speaks what the students need, speak to you and get your thoughts and be that member who is actually conveying that to the board of USASA, and I think every other candidate will be hoping to do that.
Thank you very much, Chris. So the second part of that question is, what do you think are the top 2 priorities for students at Mawson Lakes in 2019, and what will you do to advocate for their rights if you're elected to the board?
As I said, the first priority would be to make the campus more active. Let's not be a campus where it is all studies. Let's make it a little bit more vibrant with activities, with colorful things happening. And let's find the talents of students that is actually there. And let us not make them drive till the City West campus to experience something that is outside education. Let's make Mawson Lakes the same. And the second would be making this campus launch something more interactive. I mean, let the students know that there is a campus launch where they can actually come. This is for the students, and I haven't seen many students actually make use of it. So let's make this something very important, that people can come here, people can sit and make use of it. And as everyone else said, parking is an issue, but I think it's more, we have to work in hand with the university board, and USASA can just try to have a conversation with them. But I think mostly it is the activities. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chris. So all 5 of our candidates here have answered those 2 questions. Are there any questions from the audience?
I hear that they will close USASA office in Mawson Lakes very soon. There is no USASA anymore here. So any strategy, any plan you hear about it?
Okay, so the question from the floor was, there is a rumour that the USASA office at Mawson Lakes is going to be closed.
Yes. No USASA anymore.
No USASA at Mawson Lakes. Terrible.
Yes.
Terrible outcome. Are you aware of that rumour, and what will you do to advocate?
We are paying for USASA services, but we will not have it here.
Okay, so we're all paying for, as students, you're all paying for the USASA services, but there's a feeling that the USASA services won't be provided for students specifically at Mawson Lakes. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to doing alphabetical order, and then each question after that I'm going to start with the person next in line in the alphabetical order. So the first question will be to Abhayyank, and then everybody will answer that question alphabetically, and then the next one will be to Chris, etc., etc. So Abhayyank, do you want to address that question first?
So, like you said, the USASA office might close up, where we have so much space over here in Mawson Lakes. We can actually set up a meeting right here amongst all the representatives. We actually don't need an office. All we need is a group to perform all the activities and help out all the students. We actually don't need an office for it.
What about the brochures, the tables, the small meetings? It will be also somehow part of it.
Thank you.
So just the question was, a clarification of the question, is it just that the USASA office will be closed, or is it also that the amenities will also be taken away? And I think the answer was that the amenities will remain, it'll just be the office that is potentially closed. So, as I understand it? Yeah, excellent. Okay, Chris.
That's a major issue, and I think being on the board, I will actually disagree to the fact. Because we are students, I think Mawson Lakes has an intake of around 40 to 60% of the students that actually come every year, and many of them are international students. And I think the USASA should have an office over here. And I don't know, but standing from there, I think the board everyone sitting there have decided that USASA will be taken away. I don't think that's a very good idea because it's kind of not supposed to be there, because we as students, we pay for the services just like he said. It's a major concern for everyone, and I think everything that is available in every other campus should be made here also. Why should we be someone else? I mean, why should we actually travel all the way to get something that is in the USASA offices? I think what we should actually be planning of it, expanding it and bringing it to the Mawson Lakes student launch and making it bigger and get more facilities for the students. Because I think Mawson Lakes is somewhere where USASA can actually expand and not just shut down. So being on the board, what I would actually do is try my 100% to not take that office away, and I'll try my best to expand it. Thank you.
And to put the drinks like other USASA offices.
Exactly. I mean, why should we are actually on? Yes. Could you please tell it once more?
Other USASA offices, they have like hot drinks, but here we don't have it. Maybe space problem, so...
No, if you have actually noticed, even in the other USASA campuses, at sometimes, most of the times, it doesn't run. So I think that's a major issue. So let us, what we have in the campuses, I have seen them not working. Like the library ones and the ones in the IT campus. So let's replace them with new ones. I mean, I can try to replace them with new ones. But just like every other USASA offices, we will be trying to be just like them. I can try my effort. That's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. And that specifically was referring to hot drinks. So just for the remaining 3 candidates, the question was, what's your position on the potential for the USASA office to close? We've established that the amenities would remain, but the USASA office would close. And then there was a subsequent question about hot drinks, and that there be hot drinks provided on this campus as well. Okay, JD?
Yeah, what I feel is like we should have one office for each campus, because people from one campus cannot travel from one place to other. Like if they need an help, I think it will be better if we have one office in each campus. And yeah, if I am part of the board member, I make sure that there will be an office in each campus so that it will be helpful for students. Like whenever there is an emergency, they can just approach the office and get their help.
Thanks, JD. Joshua?
If the USASA counter is to close on this campus, that would be an absolute disaster. We already don't have the same provisions that other campuses have, in the sense that, again, due to space concerns, because of where the counter is and the location of that building, you can't provide those services in there. So I'd be essentially pushing to have it moved to an area, not like the student lounge, because the student lounge is essentially a shared space for everyone to use, and that wouldn't be right, in a sense, cutting down the amount of space which students have to access. I'd go for an area which is currently utilised by USASA and other ones, such as the Hive, and essentially be pushing to have that moved into there, and as well as have other services like coffee and the other services which happen on other campuses moved into there as well. So I'd be pushing for it not to close, just to relocate essentially. Thank you.
Thanks, Joshua. Noah?
I think not necessarily closing the count is a great idea, but expanding and changing the way it operates currently, like Joshua said. Moving it into a space like the Hive would be fantastic. We'd be able to increase the services provided without having to hire that extra staff member instead. As long as the amenities themselves aren't actually cut down, I don't see any issue with changing and expanding this space instead of just getting rid of the whole thing. Amenities, though, must stay exactly the same as they currently are.
Thank you very much. Any other questions?
I do have a question, but I'm just going to make a clarification first. I'm the current USASA president, and the Hive currently is underutilised here at Mawson Lakes. USASA has been trying to move from the F building to the Hive for years, in our strategic plan that was just approved by the board, that has USASA taken the Hive, and we're currently working with facilities management to achieve that. In terms of impacting on students from closing the hole in the wall in the F building, there is going to be no impact on students. All of the services that are currently provided will continue to be provided. We want to expand it in the new space with more services like hot drinks, etc. We're not closing down services at Mawson Lakes. My question, by the way, is who are you supporting for USASA president?
Thank you, Jordan. Okay, we're going to start with Chris.
It's a tricky question because I don't know anyone who's running for the president. The thing is, but the thing is, that is what I would like to tell. It's one of the problems that USASA Mawson Lakes is facing. Because we have candidate representatives, and I was a Feb intake. The first thing I went to when I saw that USASA was there was find out who was a Mawson Lake representative. I have seen her walk around, but I have never seen her have an interaction with me. I think it was the undergraduate. I have just seen the undergraduate. I have seen you. So the thing is, I don't know. I think there should be more interactions with the representatives and the students, so that the thing is, quite often students have ideas, that brilliant ideas, because everyone has their own ideas that they can implement and make, our campus a better place. The thing is, the representatives needs to be there for them to speak with, and it can be through a mail, or when the international students or any intake comes in, if they could just put in a mail, okay, I'm the representative of the Mawson Lakes, if you got any query. The uni mentor actually does that, but I think the Mawson Lake representative should also do that. And for the president, I have no idea, sorry.
Chris, I would like to add, that's how I met Grace, who's running for the president. If you ever attend Hungry Hog Days on Wednesdays, that's how you get to know your Mawson reps. They have it every Wednesday.
You were lucky enough to know about the Hive. No, let me answer your question, I get that.
Yeah.
I have seen that there was a breakfast Thursdays, right? Yeah.
On Wednesdays.
On Wednesdays?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's done by Mawson rep.
Okay, that's done. I have seen the Monday free coffee from 1 to 3. No, yeah. I have no idea who.
That's by Zoe. She does that on Mondays and Thursdays. And Wednesdays.
Okay,
yeah.
probably we'll just get the okay to answer the question.
See, you were lucky enough to know that. But have you ever had a mail or something say that? No. So that is it. You were lucky enough to attend one of them and you met her. So you have this friendship with her. So all I'm just saying, let everyone else in the campus have the same thing that you have with her.
Oh, I didn't know her.
No, so I'm just saying. So let's everyone have that. Like you are friends with her. She's standing up for you now. So I am ready to stand up for you. So I'm just telling you. Thank you.
So provisionally Grace Dixon.
Welcome aboard, baby.
Jaideep.
I'm just looking for one of the candidates. I just sent a mail for each and every president nominate, but I have not got a reply from them. And moreover, I've met one of the City West represent and City East. And we are also looking for Magill, but one from international represent, but not president. Who are reply, I think, we'll go with that.
Thank you, Jaideep. Joshua.
I'm supporting Natrydd for president. I think he's got some great ideas and I'd be happy to work with him.
Thank you. Noah.
I'll be supporting Grace Dixon for the presidency. We've had 2 generations of Unite student representatives at Mawson Lakes campus. The current president is an ex-Mawson Lakes representative who's also student Unite. I think that Grace is the best choice.
Thank you, Noah. Abhayyank.
I'd like to vote for Grace Dixon, as I would like the president to be someone who already knows how it goes on in the USASA committee, and as Grace Dixon has been the Mawson Lakes rep for 2018, I definitely want to vote for her, as she knows how things go inside, and she'd definitely be able to bring more change to the community and to the USASA students, USASA students.
Thank you very much. Any other questions from the floor?
So, as a USASA rep, you often get emails from students asking you questions. Sometimes they can be angry emails. So, how do you think you will go with answering these angry emails from students?
Okay, so the question from Pamela was, from time to time as student reps, you are going to get very angry emails from students. who are either upset about a decision you have made or something else that has happened on campus. How will you deal with angry emails or irate students or students who are disappointed or exasperated? Jaideep, we'll start with you.
Behind angriness, I think there will be a reason. First, we need to find what is the reason for it, and after that, we try to find solution first, so that before getting back to them, if we have a solution, I think it will be good for them. We can just provide the solution whatever they require.
Thank you, Jaideep. Joshua. So, the question was, from time to time as a student rep, you are going to get really angry emails from students who are disappointed with something you have done, something that the university has done, or something that has happened in a tutorial. How will you deal with that anger and frustration as a student rep?
I will read the email thoroughly to see if they're, what their points are, evaluate them, essentially draw consensus through surveillance if it's an issue which affects a large group of students. Though I won't stand for harassing emails naturally, so as long as it's not essentially sending abuse towards you, otherwise that's a problem and it's over as well. But drawing consensus from a group of students, providing it doesn't harm others, would be my goal.
Thank you, Joshua. Noah.
Definitely would have to respond to that. There's obviously some sort of reason behind why a student would be angry, so opening up a proper discourse with that student and actually trying to find the reason for why that they're so angry, and then trying to actually fix that problem, because we are the student reps. Our job is to represent the students, all of them, all of their opinions. Doesn't matter if it's angry, positive, whatever, we still got to work on that.
Thank you, Joshua. Abhayyank.
I definitely agree with what Noah said. There has to be a reason why it has a negative outcome towards us, and we definitely try to talk to them, try to ask them what we can do to make it better next time, and make sure that we won't repeat our mistakes. That's what I feel. Because what is done cannot be changed.
Thank you, Abhayyank. Chris.
Just like Jaideep said, behind every anger there is going to be a reason. The first thing would be understanding the reason, and the second thing would be putting myself in his place and understanding what would I do, how much anger would I have, and opposed to what everyone else said, I would mail him or her, let's talk face to face, let's have a conversation, let's talk with them face to face and understand their problem. And I think what can actually reduce anger is, if I as a representative or the USASA board has failed somewhere, it's good to accept that. Let's accept that we have failed, and let's put out the ideas that we are going to do to make that anger go down, and assure them that we are going to do everything to make it right, and let's have a face-to-face conversation. That is what is essential, because I think through emails, how we write it is not how they may read it. But when you have a conversation, it's much more beautifully understood. So that would be my thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Any other questions from the floor? Grace.
Yes. So all of you, or most of you mentioned about how you want clubs and atmosphere. So if you were rep, can you realistically see yourself, taking time out of your own week to provide, whether it's a breakfast once a week, or sausage sizzle, or free fruit or something? Is that something that realistically, if you take on the role, you can provide for students? Because at the end of the day, that's where we get the most exposure, the most connection with students. It's one thing to do all these great stuff behind the scenes, but if you're not, out and about, is that something that you can factor into your weekly schedules?
Okay, so the question was, a number of you have spoken about the importance of activation activities and the importance of getting out and getting to know people. How realistic is it for you to take time out of your schedules, your study schedules, plus your rep schedules, maybe once a week, once a fortnight, to really go and attend those activities as a way of getting to understand the culture on campus, but also getting to know people, as was raised previously? How realistic is that for you? What will your approach be? Josh, we'll start with you.
So I'm already heavily involved with clubs, so I'm able to take out a lot of time towards that. I usually get things done early, so I can for that purpose entirely. So it's really important to get to meet students as well as run these activities because they make the culture of the campus. Without them, it's pretty, well, quiet. That's the best term I can say. It's important in the sense that events increase student well-being as well as get people to socialise. It can be pretty isolating. Attending these events too would be a great way to meet our students and essentially get the gist of how these activations are going. Get some constant stream of feedback and communication with students on what we can improve, what we can do better. Increasing the frequency of events would also be probably something which people would like as well, and we'd take that feedback on board.
Thank you, Josh. Noah.
So I'm out at Mawson campus just about every day at the moment. I'm also heavily involved in clubs. It really isn't too much of a difference for me to be able to just jump straight into another activity, activation. Being here constantly, I'm quite involved in the student life already. I'm the Vice President of the Aviation Student Organisation, which is, makes me quite connected at the moment and gives me great access to all of the students and what they're hearing at the moment. And being able to just get involved in other clubs as well would be fantastic to increase the current sort of student atmosphere on Mawson's.
Thank you, Noah. Abhayyank.
So I'd like to meet students. I attend a lot of events at the moment, every event, and I definitely do talk to students, a lot of students, and I wouldn't mind having something like breakfast Thursdays, adding on to that. I mean, I wouldn't mind having something, doing an event on Friday every fortnight. If I become a rep, I'd definitely ask permissions and organize something on Fridays. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhayyank. Chris.
Before I answer the question, can I get a clarification? Did you mean that how realistic it would be for the clubs to make?
Or not, like just as a rep to go take time out of your week
Just
to...
take that, right? I think it is very easy for me to attend the events because I'm supposed to be a full-time student. I'm supposed to be a full-time student who is an international full-time student, and I think being a Mawson Lake representative, when any event is happening, I'm supposed to be there. It's part of being the USASA board. So I think you have to accept that when you're on the board, it's one of your duties to be there. So it is not about trying to make time, it's about being there. And I think someone should actually balance it. It's not about balance, it's mainly about balancing your studies and your events and every other things that you have. And if you can't be balanced, I don't think you deserve to be a representative. Sorry. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Jaideep.
Like I don't have any issues spending time on weekdays or weekends because like I spend most of my time in library. So if I get a chance to serve people, yeah, I will definitely do it.
Excellent. So our time has basically come. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get each of you now to come up, stand up here, look down that camera, say your full name as it will appear on the ballot form, and just one thing, why should students vote for you? And in keeping with the process we've been undertaking, Noah, I will start with you.
So my name is Nida Baig. I'm running for the Mawson Lakes campus representative, and I want to be elected because I want to be a strong voice for clubs and for students.
Thank you, Noah. Abhayyank.
My name is Abhayyank Manchanda, and I'm standing up for undergraduate representative, and I'd like to be the student voice and support all the clubs. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhayyank. Chris.
Hi, my name is Christin and I am standing for the Mawson Lake representative. Do vote for me if you want a change in the Mawson Lake campus, and let me be the voice for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Jaideep.
My name is Jaideep Vishwanath. I'm representing for Mawson Lake. Yeah, I like to support all the local students as well as international students. Yeah, let's bring some change. Thank you.
Thank you, Jaideep. And Joshua.
I'm Joshua Steele. I'm running for Mawson Lakes representative. Vote for me if you want a strong advocate who will fight for your rights on campus, as well as increase club funding, USASA funding, and just being a good ear. So, thank you.
Please, a big round of applause for our 5 candidates for the Mawson Lakes Student Board. Wonderful. Thank you. You may go and sit down. Student reps. Aneet George, Natrydd Sigurthur, Jaideep, we'll bring you up again, Jaideep, and Nida Baig. Okay, so very same format. We will ask you 2 questions each. I'm going to do the same thing alphabetical, and then we'll go reverse alphabetical. Then we'll open it up to the audience, and we will cycle through in the same way as we did for the undergrad student reps. Sound good? Fantastic. So, Aneet, the first question is for all 4 of you. Why have you chosen to run for the USASA board, and why should people vote for you?
Okay, so my reason why I'm running for USASA is because I want to be honest, I want to be part of this really amazing group. I've attended a few of the USASA events. I've been honored enough to attend a few meetings with Jordan, our current president, and I know it does everything for the welfare of the students. So I want to be in USASA for that, and to be honest, I've been a representative in my previous universities, so I think I got skills for that, to help the students and to be voice for students, to be honest.
Thank you, Aneet. Natrydd.
Hi, I'm running as Postgrad rep because I'm so passionate about student representation and improving UniSA. I've been involved with USASA for the past 3 years, and I've seen the amazing changes that have happened on campus and in student culture, and I really, really want to be part of making that change and improving things at UniSA for students.
Thank you, Natrydd. Nida.
I'd like to be the postgrad rep because I was the president for my bachelor's college in India, and I think I have it in me. And I have attended student meetings that happen quarterly in UniSA, and I've always been passionate about it. And I would want to do more Hungry Hump Days with Chris if elected, because that's how you make more student connections, and it's all about knowing students and their concerns and just working towards it. And I think I have the means to do that.
Thank you, Nida. And clearly, I don't know my alphabet because J comes before N. So, JD.
Yeah, I'm representing for postgraduate. I have like 3 years of work experience in IT. I have a lot of technical skills. I think I can help all the postgraduate students like who need assistance for programming or coding or anything. Yeah, that's the reason. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Second question. What do you think are the top 2 issues for postgraduate students in 2019, and what will you advocate for if elected to the board? Jaideep, we're going to start with you.
When it comes to postgraduates, the top issue is internship and jobs. Like immediately after you get graduated, people start looking for jobs and as well as internship. While we are studying, yeah, we definitely need an internship. And what I think is, more than we looking for internship or more than we looking for jobs, why don't we be the people who provide jobs? Why don't we be the people who provide internships? Why don't we be the entrepreneurs? I think we are all the people in university, people studying in different courses. Like, I have an idea, like, why don't we why don't we start with startups? Like, for example, if we need to start a travel domain startup, for example, I have 3 years of experience in IT. So, if someone needs a IT skill, like someone needs like software help, I can provide that. For example, like for start a company, like to start a startup, it's not only a person from one particular course can start it. It's all about like we need to group up ourselves. For example, there are people from finance who is doing masters in finance, and people who are doing masters in marketing, and people who are doing masters in information, data science. Yeah, I think we people doing courses in different fields can combine together and come up with new startups. And instead of going and working in some other companies like and finding internships or finding jobs after getting graduated, I think we can start right now from right in the university. Yeah, thank you.
Jaideep, Nida.
So the first major concern for me would be right now I'm facing the electives that I have to choose for my courses, and I think we would work towards that, making sure that they know what they have to take up, because for me, I have an IT and a business elective to take and I was very confused. I think I would help students get to know it, just send out emails or maybe career advices or something that I can do to help them choose the right elective that they want. And the second concern for me would be the jobs. But we have a lot of career counseling happening, and I'm working more towards it, and more emails with jobs on campus or after campus, and that would really help students.
Thank you, Nida. Natrydd.
So for me, one of my biggest concerns for postgrads is the merger and Enterprise 25. So the university's promised a lot of really fantastic things, but it's really important for USASA to be taking a student-centric approach to this and making sure that postgrads, the students overall, get the best deal out of whatever the outcome of this is going to be. My second biggest concern for postgrads is mental health. So I speak to a lot of HDR and research students who say that they feel very isolated in their labs and they don't get much opportunities to get out there and relax, and that it's a very high-pressure environment to produce high-quality research. But I'm a coursework student, and I know that I also meet students who say that they feel like there's a lot of pressure on them to perform really highly. So for me, it's the merger Enterprise 25 and mental health.
Thanks, Natrydd. Aneet.
I think for a postgraduate student, one of the most important things as we graduate is what is the next direction, whether it's research, whether it's study ahead, or whether it's work. And I think that should start when you start the program itself. And I'm speaking this out of my own personal experience. I have been honored to be part of an internship. I've been honored to be part of jobs from the very first day I've started my uni. So I know how much that's played an important role for me. So I think that's one of the major concerns. Also, just like how one of the candidates talked about electives, to be honest, I'm not sure if most students know, electives are really flexible, and they're coming out with an amazing scheme from next year, which is more work integrated courses and learning, which is amazing, and I support it because I'm a part of the student connect meetings, and that's what they're trying to integrate, which is really good. And also, like in my case, I've been forced, like there was a strict set of electives that I had to take, but I went out of the way and took an elective, which I'm really happy I took. It's called the Australian Industrial Relations, which I think is more career focused. So it's just the right directions that postgraduate students need, and that's what I think my major concerns are.
Thank you, Aneet. Questions from the floor? Any questions?
Good idea.
So for the past few years, there's been a lot happening, particularly around sexual violence on campus. And the Australian Human Rights Commission report, as you know, came out and said that there was much far too high rates of sexual violence on campus, and that's something that particularly affects postgraduate students as they have different kind of relationships with supervisors and everything like that. So I was wondering what your policy was around combating sexual violence on campus.
Okay, so we're going to start with Natrydd.
So I'm a really strong supporter of CAPA's principles around this. So I want to be able to make sure that students can conduct research safely, study safely. It's really not okay for supervisors to be putting an inappropriate level of attention on their candidates like that. It's also really important for the university to be aware that we do have these issues going on, and UniSA had the 4th highest rate of sexual assault on campus nationally. That was really, really shocking. We had the highest in the state. That was absolutely appalling, and the university needs to take a really, really, really strong stance on that. I'm glad that the university has taken steps towards that, but there are so many things that we could be improving, and I want to be part of keeping the university accountable and doing that.
Thank you, Natrydd. Nida.
Well, I know it's a very concerning fact. I would work towards it with my group, whoever it might be, or most probably unite, but then we will work towards making it more safer for everybody, And also, adding to that, I would say we will work towards mental health issues too, coming in 2019. And most probably, we'd see less chance in it, reduce it. Just, we promise you that won't happen, but that's all we can say.
Thank you, Nida. JD?
I think we can increase the number of cameras in the university, and also we can increase the security, and also we can appoint some people for patrolling at night. So it will be helpful for people who are like walking around the university at night.
Thank you, Jaideep.
Workplace discrimination or racism, I definitely have faced the same thing, and I know it's a very pressing concern, which I cannot say that we're going to eradicate because that's not in my hands, or I don't think a couple of people can do that. But I think a couple of people together could bring that change in our environment. Special Career Hub does a lot of those workshops which empowers and helps people with these kind of things mentally and emotionally. But I think a lot of people don't know about them or don't even know how powerful and useful they are. So I would encourage some of these sessions, especially by people who have actually faced it, so that they could share their experiences and tell their tactics, so that we can be just prepared to face it and to literally eradicate with time.
Thank you, Aneet. Any other questions from the floor?
No.
So for those of you that have said you've been involved in student associations before, what's some of the sort of positions that you've held, things that you've achieved, that sort of stuff?
Okay, so the question was, what positions have you held, what have you achieved if you've been in other student organisations? Nida, we'll start with you.
Well, I've been the president for my college in India, and I've also been volunteering for my college back there, and I've also worked with the Model United Nations. I've achieved a few awards back in India, and I'm working towards it in here. That's why I'm starting up for this representative post, because I want to make some changes here too, and work towards personal and also USASA development. Thanks.
Thanks, Nida. JD?
I was a vice president in my school, and for the university, like previously I developed one application for the entire college. It was giving the entire information about the college, and it was developed by me. And moreover, it was a great honor for me because that application was launched by ex-president of India. I think I can do more here as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Jaideep. Aneet?
Can you just repeat the question?
So if you've been involved in student unions, student associations before, what positions have you held and what sort of things have you achieved before?
Okay, so I have 9 years of postgraduate experience, and I'm just starting off with everything in that 9 years, not exactly to UniSA. So back in India, I've been an anchor, a coordinator for many conferences and many events. I've studied a part of my studies in Kuwait, where I've been the president of my school, and also I've been on board with my uni in Canada when I was studying over there. So it was more of student welfare and association, especially for international students. That's what I used to work with. My presidentship, every position I've held was with that. Coming back to UniSA, the last 1 year I've got amazing opportunity to be part of the Student Connect, the Student Advice Panel, the Uni Mentors, and some excellent workshops connected by Roslyn and some other staff of UniSA. Pretty much that's my part of the uni. And I love attending, those small events. I do volunteer in most events in the uni, and that's where I've made most of my connections. And when you come back to the point of the community, I am actually starting up with my volunteering for the SA community, the connecting up people, as well as with an organization outside back in my country. So that's my volunteering stuff.
Thank you, Aneet. Natrydd?
So, I started off as secretary of a club in late 2015. I've been the president of that club for the past 1.5 years. I'm also secretary of another club, and I'm on the executive of several other clubs. I also sit on 2 USASA committees, the Clubs Committee and the Diversity, Equity and Access Committee. I've been part of clubs means that I get to work with those clubs, have a great executive, and I get to work with the uni to achieve good outcomes for students. So, for example, I've attended conferences, I've worked with the SEU to achieve good outcomes for students, things that USASA is lagging a bit behind on, and particularly with quiz students. So I really think that's going to be a good chance of getting things done at this uni. I've just got these really good connections within the uni, and I've seen the changes that I've been able to make. And I'm not even on the USASA board, so being on the USASA board would just be absolutely amazing, just to be part of making really, really, really big changes at the university.
Thanks, Natrydd. I think we've got time for one more question from the floor. One more? Okay, I have one then. So, what are your top 3 values and how will they influence your role on the board? We will start this one with Jaideep. So, what are your top 3 values and how will they influence your role on the board?
First thing is providing jobs and internships, like in a sense helping the people to get jobs immediately when they get graduated from university. Moreover, conducting more events in Mawson Lakes campus as well as in all the other campuses. And it will be the first one, giving more importance for startups. That is a place where we gain a lot of knowledge for our career. Thanks.
And Jaideep, Aneet.
My top 3 values would be the very first one being work integrated learning and developing the skills related to that. And the second one would be equality when it comes to the racism and even teaching people about discrimination and racism and how to face it in workplaces. And the other one would be, to be honest, the USASA board over the years has done some pretty good work, whether it was Jordan, whether it was Kate, whether it was Grace, they've all done really good work, and I would like to continue on their path, take up that and use that as my motivation.
Thank you. Natrydd.
So my top 3 are equity, ethics and compassion. I'm really, really passionate about student welfare at this university, and I'm so proud of some of the things that reps have achieved. I really, really want to be part of continuing that great work.
Thanks, Natrydd. Nida.
My most 3 values would be integrity, honesty, and just work towards the success of UniSA as the student board. And I would like to thank everybody on board this year because I see a lot of changes. As a Mawson Lakes student also, I've seen the library come up at 27. I've seen more student life activities happening on the campus, and I've been part of a lot of them, and I've enjoyed it thoroughly. And I think that was something I would like to thank the current board for, and that would be my 3 values.
Wonderful. So finally, what I'd like you each to do is look at that camera and say your full name as it's going to appear on the ballot paper, what you're running for and why people should vote for you. Jaideep, we'll start with you.
My name is Jaideep Vishwanath. I'm representing for postgraduate. If you want to get jobs or internship, or if you want to start a startup in the university, please vote for me. Thank you.
Thanks, Jaideep. Aneet.
My name, as full, it would be Aneet George, and I'm standing for the postgraduate representative. I've no promises to give you, but I promise to help you and to be open for any kind of advice or problems and resolutions. And vote for me if you think work integrated learning, skill development, and looking for a job is your major concern. I'm not saying I can give you a job, but I can definitely help you with that. Thanks.
Thanks, Aneet. Natrydd.
Hi, I'm Natrydd Sigurthur and I'm running for postgraduate representative. I'm really passionate about student welfare and well-being. I want to be a really strong voice for students on this campus. I'm tired of seeing the way universities treat students. It's a lot of universities just take this money-centric view of students that we're just cash cows. We're not. We're the true heart of the university. So, vote for me if you want a progressive candidate who's going to stick up to the union.
Thanks, Natrydd. Nida.
My name is Nida Baig and I'm standing up for Postgrad rep. Vote for me if you want an active student voice. I promise to do that for you and I promise to work towards the welfare of students.
Wonderful. Can I ask you all to give a big round of applause for the student reps? And I think that brings us to the end of the formalities. Thank you all.